So Ada is my favorite character. I feel like she's in that perfect spot in the franchise where she's the main character, so she will appear in most games, of course, but she's not the main character of any of those games, which means that, well, one, she's not overused, but more importantly, two, she could die at any time. I mean, we're no writers, but this is not Game of Thrones either. Leon is not going to die, Chris is not going to die, Jill is not going to die, but Ada, she's far enough away from the main character role that, you know what, that is a possibility. And even if that possibility is far-fetched, it makes me root for her even more and makes every scene that she's in just a little bit more interesting.
Leon. Long time no see.
Ada is the only character in the series that we're still unsure what she's up to. Hell, we don't even know if she's good or bad. She has worked for so many different organizations and so many different people that it is very difficult to catch on. So here's the spiel. On Resident Evil 2, she was working for a mysterious company that we will refer to as Umbrella's rival company, or rival company for short. Through this company, she was working under Wesker. Then on Resident Evil 4, she was still working for Wesker, but not under the rival company, but under another organization called the Third Organization. At the end of that game, she ends up betraying him and that organization for another organization. This one we will call the Organization. Oh, look, I'm not purposely trying to make this difficult to understand, that's just those are all the names of the organizations. It's that fucked up. Then on Resident Evil Damnation, she seems to be working by herself-ish. She contacts a mysterious person looking to sell some of the viruses that she has collected, but it seemed to be relatively normal, almost as if it was up to her to give the virus away or not, unlike as if she was obligated to by an actual organization. Kinda makes you believe that she's working by herself. But then, on Resident Evil 6, she just straight up looks like she's working by herself, with literally no mention of any company or organization outside of the ending where she's asked if she can partake into another job, which she does accept. Look, I don't know, man, but that's Ada, literally just a shadow on the wall, working from the mist, never seeing her coming or going. Look, let me just give you this lame-ass chart about the companies that maybe will help you out a little. See, here's Umbrella, right? Simple. We know Umbrella, we know what they stand for, we know what they did, easy peasy zombie squeezy, right? Now here's Umbrella's rival company. This company has been trying to take down Umbrella for like ages, and the way they went about doing that was by collecting all the samples of the viruses that Umbrella created, and then, you know, sabotaging them whenever possible. Wesker once worked for Umbrella, of course, but at the end of Resident Evil 1, he betrayed Umbrella to work for this rival company. Now, this is where Ada started in Resident Evil 2. She was working for the rival company, and through the rival company, she collected the G-Virus for Wesker. After a bunch of games and story, Wesker would go to betray this rival company to create his own company called the Third Organization, and he hired Ada to come with him. So now we have a third group of people in this scheme here. This is Resident Evil 4, and this is why Ada was working with Wesker in that game. Now, this organization is really just Wesker being like, yo, we're gonna take a bunch of samples from everywhere and then I'm gonna rule the world. The only reason Ada accepted to join this group was because she was ordered to by another organization, which we will call the Secret Organization for simplicity's sake. Now, this is the real what the fuck of the whole deal. I have no clue what this organization is or what they want. In fact, they have only really been mentioned one time ever, and that's in Resident Evil 4, and that's only really like in passing, barely even a mention. But it is made pretty obvious that Ada is working for another group, and that everything that she did in Resident Evil 4 was part of a big plan. So that's the dealio, as easy as I could make it. I hope that's even remotely understandable. So we talked about her role in things, we talked about her unknown supplier, we talked about her affection to Leon in the lore of Leon. Now let's just talk about her, like, you know, who the hell is she? Well, that's the thing. We literally have no clue who she is. In fact, Ada Wong is not even her real name. Nobody knows what her name is, so we just kind of go with her alias. Her life before Resident Evil 2 is a complete mystery. Her ethnicity and nationality are left unconfirmed. It is implied that she is Chinese American, but we have no actual proof of that. Her athletic prowess, however, is very impressive. She is fast, nimble, jumps super high, she's incredibly accurate and deadly, has expertise with really any kind of weapons and vehicles, incredible martial prowess, and really smart. She's pretty much the perfect special agent or assassin, and she's really cute. When she was first designed, however, in Resident Evil 1.5, it was not the case at all. She was made to be an umbrella scientist named Linda, probably a scientist being caught in the middle of everything, trying her best to escape doom alongside Leon. The model for Linda was one of the only models that were taken from Resident Evil 1.5 and saved into Resident Evil 2, with her name changed to Ada. They decided to change the name to Ada to link a storyline that was opened back in Resident Evil 1 in a note. You see, in the first game, you can find a note written by John, one of the lead scientists in the project. In this note, it shows that John and Ada were lovers. In fact, however, Ada was just feigning the relationship to see if she could extract info from John, from Umbrella. John, however, was really into Ada, so much in fact that he used her name as a password for most of the defensive mechanisms for the laboratory of the mansion back in the first game. The most interesting thing about Ada, however, is the shocking similarities to another series called Nikita, which portrays a woman with similar looks and attitude than that of Ada. In fact, both are assassins that still have a strong human side and love for a male counterpart that sometimes gets in the way of their missions. The title screen for Separate Ways even resembles the original poster for Nikita, right down to even the same pose by the two characters. This show might have been the inspiration for creator Shinji Mikami for Ada. Now, if we could just figure out why her eyes changed from brown to clean greenish in Resident Evil 4 to brown again in Resident Evil 6? Is that another Ada mystery that we will have to leave unsolved?
What the hell is going on here?
It's complicated.